Tiny Toons are coming up next, right after Sooty and Co.
Hey ho, it's Sooty and Co. Everybody say hello. There's Sooty and Sweet, a panda called Sue, and little cousin Scampi. There'll be fun galore with the terrible four. Just you wait and see. It's Sooty and Company. Sooty and Company.
Oh, hello, and welcome to Sooty and Co, where today could be a turning point. Now, I know that we've had various ideas in the past, you know, ways of improving the business, but this one, I think, could be a winner.
Good morning, Matthew.
Ah, good morning, Sue. Would you like to call the others for breakfast?
Right.
Today could be the day that we turn this business around, and do you know how we're going to do that, Sue?
No.
With honey.
Ooh.
Homemade honey.
Yummy.
That is the most delicious honey I have ever tasted. What do you think, Sue?
Oh, I agree, Matthew. Sticky but stupendous is how I'd put it.
Oh, look at Sooty rubbing his tummy. No need to ask whether you enjoy it, is there? Hang on, Sweet, you're a dog. I don't think dogs like honey, do they? It was lovely. Really? Well, what did you spread it on? Was it a cracker or toast or bread or what? You spread it on your bone? Ooh, yuck.
Where did you get the honey from, Matthew?
Ah, well, that nice Mr. Sanford has got some beehives behind his allotment, Sue.
Right.
He sent round last night a dozen jars for us to sell and one for us to try. It's very nice of him. Mind you, he doesn't get very much of this honey, so it's very, very expensive and it's very, very special. Oh, talking of special things, where's Scampi?
He's still in bed, Matthew.
Still in bed? Well, that's unusual for Scampi. Did you mention the honey to him?
Well, yes, I did, but he says he isn't very hungry and that he's staying in bed.
Strange. What? Doesn't sound a bit like Scampi. No, it doesn't really.
You know, I think I'd better go and check on him again. He might be coming down with something.
OK, there's a good girl. Off you go. Sooty, come and have a look at the display I've made of the honey in the shop. Come on, come on. Come on, join us. Come on. It's all under this cloth here. Actually, I thought I'd use that big rubber bee there to sort of attract people's attention as they come in the shop. It's a good idea, isn't it? Now, Sooty, please bear in mind that there's only a dozen jars here, but this is because it's very, very expensive. That's because it's genuinely homemade. Ready? Voila! Look at this! What's happened? What? We've been burgled? Burgled? But I mean, who would want to come along and... We've been stung! What? Give the police a buzz. Stung, buzz. Get the phone, get the telephone. Dial the local police. Oh, everything's so sticky. Ugh. Whilst I'm busy on the phone, there's something of a first taking place in the bathroom. Scampi's having a bath. But can you spot what he's doing wrong? You're right. He's still got his clothes on. Silly sausage.
Scampi, where are you? Scampi, what? Oh, there you are. I've been looking all over the place for you. I must say, I never expected to find you in the... Scampi, you've still got your clothes on. Why? Because they were covered in something sweet and sticky? Oh, you are a messy little teddy bear. Here, let me help you to wash it off. Come on, come here.
The police said we had to deal with the matter ourselves. Thing is, I don't know where to start. What? Where did the burglar get in? I don't know. He probably broke in through one of the doors. I'm not too sure. What? Both the doors are okay? Are they? In that case, I don't know. I mean, I'm not a detective, am I? I tell you something. We need Sherlock Holmes here. He'd soon sort this thing out. Who's Sherlock Holmes? Who's Sherlock Holmes? He's only the greatest detective of all time. With his friend, Dr. Watson, he's sorted out the most serious of crimes. We should go and talk to him. Sooty, you cannot talk to Sherlock Holmes because he doesn't exist, actually. He's just a character in a book. Listen, if you wanted to talk to Sherlock Holmes and his friend, Dr. Watson, you'd need magic. I don't really fancy... No, don't... Sooty, please... Honestly, Sooty and his magic wand. One of these days he's going to get us both into trouble. Good evening. Where am I? Sooty? Sooty, where are you? God, look at that hansom cab. It's ages since I've seen one of them. Sooty! For goodness sake, where am I?
Good evening, sir. May I help you?
Well, yes, you can, actually. Where am I?
Well, you're in Baker Street, sir.
Baker Street? Baker Street? Wait, you mean Baker Street, London?
Correct, sir.
But just a minute. That's where Sherlock Holmes lived, isn't it?
Well, that's right, sir. Yes, as a matter of fact, you'll find Mr. Holmes and his friend Dr. Watson right over there at number 221B.
Thank you very much. Excuse me, what date is it? I mean, what year is it?
Why, it's 1891, sir. I'd stay off the old wine gums if I were you, sir.
1891? Wine gums? I know what's happened. The magic wand has transported us back to a time and a place which only exists in books. Look at this, 221B Baker Street. This is where the legendary Sherlock Holmes and his associate, Dr. Watson, lived. Well, I'll tell you something. If anybody can help us to solve the riddle of the missing honey, they can. Let's go inside, shall we? Come on. Come on. Hello? The door was open. I hope you don't mind if I just... Chew? What are you doing there? What? That's Sherlock Holmes? And you're Dr. Watson? Well, excuse me. I beg your pardon. It's just you remind me of some people I already know. This is the magic wand muddling things up. I suppose this is as close to the real Sherlock Holmes as I'm going to get, so I should be grateful for small mercies. What? What's my problem? Well, you see, we've been having honey stolen from the shop, and I was wondering if you could, help us to shed any light upon the problem. You take some fingerprints. Really? He's going to take some fingerprints. Whose fingerprints are you going to take? Mine? Well, all right. What? That's the ink pad, is it? I'm going to have my fingerprints taken by the famous Sherlock Holmes. What do you want me to finger in the ink? What? Oh, right. Okay, finger in the ink. Well, this is quite a... Roll it on there, I see. Oh, that's perfect. Next one. What, you want another... Oh, we're going to do another finger. On here? Just rock it right there. Well, that's 2. You want 3? Wait. Yeah, all right. Let me do it. There we go. Right. Can you have a look at the honey? Well, this is the honey. Look, it's just there. And it's covered in inky fingerprints. Well, of course it's covered in inky fingerprints. There might. You're going to have a look for some more clues. He's going to have a look for some more clues. Oh, look. The famous magnifying glass. What have you seen? What have you seen? Another clue? What is it? A human hair? Is it? Oh, yes. You're right. Look at that. A human hair. What does this tell you about the culprit? The culprit has got inky fingers and he's going bald. All right, don't you dare say a word. Look, I'm not the culprit. It was my honey that was going missing in the first place. You need to do a stakeout. I'm sure the real Dr. Watson never spoke like this. What? You keep the shop under surveillance tonight? Just a minute. Are you safe doing a surveillance? You got lots of weapons? You're kidding. A water pistol. I never knew that Sherlock Holmes packed a water pistol. Well, in that case, you better get me back to the shop, because if I'm going to be... No. No, I wasn't dreaming. I really was in Baker Street. It was 1891, and I really was talking to Sherlock Holmes and his friend Dr. Whatsit. What? Was he good looking? No, he wasn't, actually. A sort of yellow tinge to him. Touch of jaundice, I shouldn't wonder. Anyway, the good news is that Sherlock Holmes and his friend are going to keep their eye on this place overnight. Sue, did Mr. Sanford bring any more honey?
Oh, he could only let us have 2 more jars.
Well, keep your paws crossed. It's enough to attract the honey burglar. Where's Scampy? He's playing with his radio-controlled car. What, at this time of night? Said he didn't want to go to sleep. Yeah, well, I recommend that you go to sleep. So come on, settle down. That's it. I'm going to have a look at Sherlock Holmes downstairs. You coming? Come on. That's the new delivery of honey. Come here. It's reassuring, isn't it? Knowing that it's being looked after. Anyway, let's go and have a look at them, shall we? Looking at us. Looking at them. Come on. There you are. Don't frighten the life out of me. Go back. Now, you see this here? You think that this is just an ordinary BT tent, don't you? But it isn't. Because inside here is the world's most famous detective and his associate. Shh! Watch. Mr. Holmes? Mr. Holmes? Sherlock? What'd you do that for? You thought I was a baddie? Well, I am not a baddie. And neither are this lot either. I just came to see if you've got everything that you need. Yes, you have. Good. Except a light? What do you mean, a light? Hang on a minute. Excuse me. I think there's one in the shop. I think they want a light. Oh, here's one. All right, I've got it. Let me hang this up. Taking it. Well, hang it up there. You know, I cannot... Come back here. I cannot quite understand why the great Sherlock Holmes didn't actually think... Pardon? And a radio. What, hearing the... They want a radio. It's very embarrassing. There's a radio here. Okay, take the radio, Sooty. Okay, dear. Listen, I recommend that you don't put the radio on very loud, because it's very late. Have I got some magazines? Or comics? Magazines or comics? Look, you're not supposed to be reading magazines or comics or listening to radio. You're meant to be keeping an eye on this. What's that noise? What's that? Look! See what that was? That's the box with the honey in it. The honey thief has struck again. We've been done. What are you going to do? Stand to one side? But what good is that going to do? It's a bit late for that now. Well, any doubts I may have had about this Sherlock Holmes and Dr. Watson are certainly being proved to be wrong, as the crime-solving duo engage in hot pursuit of the cardboard box, actually. Catch that box, and we've got our man, says Sherlock Holmes. Yes, says Dr. Watson. Then all we need is some string, and we could have the whole thing wrapped up. Oh, do shut up, says Sherlock Holmes. We're on Sherlock's home turf here. And he's not without a friend, isn't our Sherlock? Oh! Looks like the game's up. Lift the box up, officer, and let's see who the culprit is.
Right, my lad. You're nicked. Good Lord, Mr. Holmes. There's no one here. Just an empty jar of honey, a radio-controlled car, and a little school cat.
He's escaped down the grate, says Dr. Watson.
That's elementary, dear Watsit.
But he's left his cap behind, and there's only one person that wears a cap like this. His goose is cooked. The goose isn't cooked. Yuck. Well, not properly, anyway. Anyway, enough of that. Can't be bothered with that. Because today is the important day. Do you remember a while ago we had all that business about... do you remember about honey and disappearing and I brought in Sherlock Holmes, etc.? Do you remember that? Yes, of course you do. Well, anyway, as a result of inquiries, we have had what is known as a result. A suspect has been apprehended, and we're going to have a trial today in there. Now, Sooty's going to be the judge, Sweeper's the jury, Suey's going to be the defence lawyer, and I am the prosecution lawyer. Oh, and guess who the suspect is? Look. Ladies and gentlemen of the court, you see standing before you the accused, little cousin Scampy, or the honey burglar, as he is sometimes known. Little cousin Scampy, it is said that recently you did take a quantity of honey, and you did eat that honey. And the honey that you did not eat, you either spilt or dribbled down your tie. How do you plead? Guilty or not guilty? Your Honour, would you direct the accused to speak up, please?
Objection, Your Honour, on the grounds of harassment. My client cannot speak up since he has a mouthful of honey, but I speak on his behalf when I say that he pleads very stickily.
Oh, well, that's fair enough. Your Honour, would you tell the accused to stand up when he's giving evidence, please?
Objection, on the grounds of defamation. My client is standing up.
Is he? Oh, that's fair enough as well. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, I will prove to you that on the night in question, little cousin Scampy was not asleep in bed, as he claims. He was not asleep at all. Instead, he was carrying out one of the most audacious, one of the most cunning, and one of the most subtle crimes of modern times.
Objection, Your Honour, on the grounds of waffle.
I beg your pardon? How can it be... What's this? A waffle? Don't be ridiculous. I would warn the court that this innocent-looking teddy bear, this butter wouldn't melt in his mouth little fellow, is nothing short of a common honey burglar. And I will prove it. With the help of my friend, my learned friend, Sherlock Holmes, and his friend, Dr. Watson, I present to you Exhibit A, henceforward known as Exhibit A. One school cap with the name Little Cousin Scampy written inside it. I rest my case. Rest my case. I had to work it in somewhere, didn't I?
Objection, Your Honour, objection. On the grounds that this is no time to be resting anything. We've got to prove Scampy innocent.
Look, relax, counsel. I have done my job. It is now your turn to prove to the court that I was wrong.
Well, this shouldn't take too long. I would direct the jury to look at photographs A and B, known as Exhibit A and B. As you see, these are photographs of food being consumed without permission.
Objection, Your Honour. Objection, your lud, me lud, that's not fair.
And why not, counsel?
Well, because those photographs were taken when I was asleep. I was sleepwalking. Everybody knows that I sleepwalk almost as much as little cousin Scampy does. It's not fair. I wasn't awake and I wasn't guilty.
Well, if you weren't guilty, neither was Scampy.
What?
Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, in eating that honey, my client did nothing more serious than my learned friend here. Scampy was sleepwalking as well when the crimes were committed. Therefore, I ask you to find him not guilty on the grounds that he is diminished.
What?
How do you find little cousin Scampy? Guilty or not guilty?
Not guilty?
Hooray!
You must be joking.
The court finds you, Matthew Corbett, guilty of being a pompous meanie. You are sentenced to remain here in the shop whilst we all go and have a slap-up tea.
Oh, very funny. Yes, go on. You're going to have a slap-up tea. Ha, 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 ha. Sentenced to remain here in the shop. Well, it just whistled that because I can leave it. What is that? Hey, look, there's handcuffs there. Look, I was only kidding. Your Honour, Judge...
Just listen to him.
Learned counsel.
Well, since Matthew's all tied up, everybody, I'd better say goodbye for him. So bye-bye, everybody. Bye-bye. See you all soon. Come on, boys. Come on, let's dig in. Oh, thank you. So did you think I had one of your jam tarts?
What a smashing spread. Well, it doesn't take Sherlock Holmes to detect that we're on our way to Acme University next for this week's Tiny Toon Adventures. I think you'd better warn everybody in the house.